So you're over 180 episodes on your podcast. You do video as well, though, correct?
Yes.
And you've been on Twitch for a long time, too.
Yep.
And it's the Flow Poker Show.
Poker Flow Show.
Flow Show.
Yep, 2015. I saw some people that I knew in poker that sort of pivoted and were doing this. They were, and I was like, man, I love people. I want to make a brand. Like I want to do something where it's recorded. There's content you can repurpose it for Twitter, Instagram. I don't even remember if Instagram was around then. I can't remember for whatever.
Like just coming out.
Yeah, and I was like, it's fun because now you could have some affiliate deals. You could have some potential sponsorships. Like that was kind of my goal. It's similar but different than pro sports, right? Poker, there's like I don't know 5 or 6 major companies. So there's not 32. There's a handful. So a lot of people kind of can bounce around. They've been at one or another. But I was like, I was 2015, what's that, 7 years? I'm trying to think, 7, 8 years ago. Yeah, I was like 27, 28. And I was thinking, hey, I want to get a sponsorship deal. Like that's like the, back in the day, these guys that are on Full Tilt, when I was like 10 years before, they got, they're sponsored. They get paid to wear a brand and represent a poker site. That was my goal always. And then when I saw Twitch as an avenue to do that, and I did that. And then in 2017, I got a deal with PokerStars. That was like my first real contract, which was pretty, I was like, man, this is cool. Like I've been working hard at this and now I got a deal. And then, I've been with a couple other sites and now with GG, which is like I mentioned earlier, is the main site. They have the largest market share. They're partnered with World Series of Poker. You can win a bracelet during this period of time. If you play on here and you win, it counts as like a World Series of Poker bracelet. There's like, it's cool and great software. Love the team, love where it's at, love the vision of the company. And, I'm happy where I'm at. And I literally love poker. I just want to, now I feel like it's starting to get the shackles ripped off about negative connotations. Like it's sort of like, when I'm at a dinner or somewhere I meet someone, it's kind of like, I never know if it's like, it ends up being like, I feel like I get asked the most questions because it's so like different, right? It's like, oh, you really play professional poker? And it's kind of weird, right? People, I don't know. Like I feel like it's cool, but then I also feel like kind of like people are kind of like suspect about it, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? But it feels like now though, it's become more mainstream. I feel less
with
like that.
DraftKings and everything around.
I mean, DraftKings is sports, but all gaming in general, sports are legal at a federal level. I think it's in like 38 or 40 states, right? So that's big. Yeah. And now poker's sort of piggybacking, and Pennsylvania and Michigan got legalized for, like I told, they don't get to play with everyone, but it's the first step. You need liquidity in poker. You know what I mean? You need a player pool that's big. That's why back in the day before the UIEGA in 2006, that's when they like kind of shut it down, Full Tilt, PokerStars, they just like closed the doors. Before that, you want to play $215 Sunday Million, you could be in California, be in New York, pay $200, $1 million guaranteed prize pool. For $200, you're playing poker all day. You get on Sunday, start around noon, watching TV, watching football. In the tournament, if you go deep, you're up. If you're out, whatever, you win 250, 300,000. But there was thousands of tournaments like this all across the board. And then that kind of, I was in New York when it happened. I remember waking up in the DOJ on the website, and it was just crazy. I woke up, was ready to play, and then it was just shut down. April 15, 2011 to the Black Friday, I call it in poker, and that was when it like really went down like hard. So and from then it was not the same. That's when it shifted.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how much that changed the industry at the time.
Well, so for honestly, this is like we just mentioned about, it's not what happens, how you react to what happens. This to me was like my moment in life. Like I remember I was living in Baltimore with Phelps, who that's how we came down for Discover. We met, that's I think 2011 or 12. We met
Cabo?
in Cabo he was filming the Haney project. So, but I was living with him.
Episode was at Eldo.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That was, well, and Hank Haney was telling us at the time when we were shot in a few other places. I mean, it was his show. I was living with him. I came on, I was golfing. I was terrible. I never golfed. It was a blast. but like, I just remember Hank saying like, oh man, you go, you're going to never, like, this is not real life. You got to see this place. Like kept saying about like the comfort stations and this is like not real, whatever. Anyway, this is a completely side story, but yes. So around this time I was living with him and I could play poker anywhere. I was living in Baltimore, Maryland, and I would play online poker. I was in New York for the weekend. Then I woke up and it changed my life completely. Cause I went from being able to play online poker, wake up, roll out of bed, and play. And now I couldn't. Now I had to like go to Canada, get an address, get a bank account. If I want to play, I have to go over the border or go to Mexico. And so a lot of poker players kind of stopped, and then some relocated and moved full time to these countries, mostly Mexico, Canada, right, in the US. But for me, this was the biggest shift because I was playing a lot of online poker, and I thought in the moment, I was like, man, my life's over. Like, this sucks. Like, I'm gonna have to get a job, or like, what's gonna happen? But then pretty quickly, looking back, realized that that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I played soccer my whole life through college. I was in school. So right after that, I moved to Baltimore in 2008. So a few years, I'm like, completely out of shape. I wake up, I'd literally play online poker until I busted the tournaments at like whatever, 10, 11, 12 at night. We go downstairs, play beer pong, order Chinese ding hao, and it was like the repeat. I wake up, get out of bed, and whatever. So I was kind of just like in this funk and spiral, not thinking about it. And then when it happened, I started playing more live poker. I started traveling, going to Montreal, going around the tour, playing live tournaments, and really like spreading out my the routine I was in. So it worked out. I had to go to Canada, get a bank, do the address, get set up. But like I had this extra thing where now sometimes I'd play online or go out of the country, like at in El Dorado, like where I came that time when you guys were there, and I was streaming on Twitch. It's like 2017 during September.
I remember we popped in on the stream, and like the moment we did, you hit like a huge hand.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yes, no, it was amazing. That view was that helped to be relaxed because you need to be. But that was me traveling around. That was it. I had to be in Mexico. I had to be in Canada. But then I was doing other stuff. Like I wasn't just fully online poker and just kind of like going through the motions and, missing on a lot of opportunities. But I think that's like, again, the biggest things in life, you just, in the moment when you a breakup or a relationship or whatever, right? Something happens, you're like, this is the worst. I feel terrible. That is like those type of moments that sort of spur you to find your power, to get into it, get motivated and attack. So that was, looking back, best thing ever happened to me in the moment. I thought it was like going to be a new career, a new thing. So.
Yeah, it sounded like it was an opportunity to diversify what you were doing already, right?
Yep.
Like you just said. That's great.
Yeah. I'm still thinking back to the beginning of when you realized that you could make money with poker. You couldn't really do that with video games. I'm thinking like if Twitch came out a little earlier, or if people were making money like they are now, do you think you would have ever gone down the video game route in a way? Well,
I mean, it's just the tipping point, this Malcolm Gladwell stuff too, like right place, right time, Bill
Outliers,
Gates.
Baby.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. This one in particular where Bill Gates, right, he's living in, Washington, there's access to the world's first computer. He's kind of around there. So it's not perfect. Like, and I wish poker was earlier, because when I started playing in 2003 and 4 online, I was playing like 25 cent, 50 cent buying blinds. So I'd buy in for $10, $25. If this was like earlier, because even like Jungleman, who was the biggest online poker winner in the history, right? He was a little bit ahead. He was playing the higher stakes when it was super soft. So he was able to like, really attack. He was playing like much bigger games and was winning the most money at that level. Oh. So like he was like a couple years ahead of me in that sense. But it's of course, like Twitch as well. Like man, if Twitch was in 2004 when I was in college, like who knows? Like I would have been at like, it would have been like a 12-year head start on like that stuff. So I'm almost like feel like too old. Now I have a kid. It's like harder. It's not like I'm just in a suitcase traveling to Brazil and streaming all day long. I can't do it. I can't spend 10, 12 hours a day playing a poker tournament. But still, it worked out. It was a good time, good period, and kind of pushed hard. And now I do different stuff, do a little bit. I'm not just, more diversified.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.